Well, hello there. It's Liam from Unique Cars and Parts, and I'm with Ian and his absolutely fantastic looking ambulance, which at the back he's got a little descriptor on it, and this was in service until 1953. So it's had a long history.
Yes, it has.
When did it first go into service?
It went into service in early 1927, so it's a late 26 Dodge. By the time it came out here and they fitted the body, it went into service in 1927 and it retired in 1953.
So it did service for nearly 30 years.
Yes, it did.
And being a Dodge, obviously the chassis and the engine and all of the running components was built in America. Who put the body on it?
I'd like to know.
Okay, so a mystery bodybuilder somewhere in Australia.
It is a mystery. It was Melbourne, definitely Melbourne. Maybe it was Floods. We're not sure, but somebody else, it could have been Thompson's, but we don't know.
Well, if anyone is interested in the flood story, I've got a very big article on Unique Cars and Parts, so go and check that out. Now, it's had service up for 30 odd years. It's a 4-cylinder, obviously.
Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder, yeah.
And electric starter motor.
Yeah, all the mod cons.
All the mod cons. And like the previous vehicle that we saw, this has got, I'm guessing, the accelerator in between the clutch and the brake.
That's right.
And no brakes on the front.
No.
So and it doesn't worry you driving around in traffic without the rear brakes? With just the rear brakes? No,
I've been driving for over 40 years. You drive accordingly.
Okay, and so you've owned this for 40 years?
Yep. Yeah, I have.
That's a fair run. Now at the back it said it was restored just before you bought it, is that right?
Externally, so the paintwork you see on it was painted. It's a very low original mileage vehicle.
How many has it done?
We estimate, when I bought it 40 years ago, we reckon it had done about 20,000 miles. So it did 7,100 miles when it retired in 1953. It was then bought by the Yarraman District Hospital and they used it as a service vehicle. And it did about the same amount of mileage again over that 13 odd year period. And when the driver who drove it retired, they sold it because nobody else knew how to look after it.
Possibly no one else knew how to drive it properly.
Well, that'd probably be half the problem. So that was in 1966. So
and this would have been very, very difficult to drive fast when you've got a very sick passenger in the back.
That's why it's got 25 mile an hour maximum speed up there.
And this bell up the top there, that's the original warning before there were sirens?
Yes. Yeah.
Does that still operate?
Yeah, it's got a cord inside. They're actually off Melbourne cable trams.
So they repurposed that from a Melbourne cable tram, and that you said there's a cord. You have to pull a cord, do you?
Yeah, I can do that.
We might get to hear the bell. Can we do that? Thanks, Ian. That'd be great. There we go. So apparently that was enough in the old days to say, "Get out of the way! I've got a sick."
So all they had to do was just ring the bell, and they actually knew how to spell ambulance in the right way.
They did too. And they've got weatherproof. They came with the vehicle too. So an all-weather vehicle, this one.
Yeah, it was no problem at all. No problem.
And, except one small windscreen wiper on this side.
Hand operated.
One hand operated. So you'd have one hand on the windscreen wiper, one hand on the bell, your foot on the steering wheel. Well, Ian, thank you for showing us around your vehicle. I love it. It's one of the standouts in the show. I think it's got so much personality.
It is unique. It's the survivor of a fleet. We estimate there was around probably 15 of them, and this is the only one left. There's always one survivors of everything.
And this is one of 15 and the only one left in Melbourne, Australia, the world.
Yep.
The only one of its kind. Well, that makes it very unique. Ian, it's been it does go with the job. Well, thank you very much, Ian. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Good on you, mate. Bye-bye.